hope you kind of like the darker vibes we've got going here. I've been really feeling the spooky vibes, but I'm here with a card reading. This one will be for July. So I'm using my Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck, my Galactic Oracle deck. This you can find in my website. And then my Prism Oracle deck right here. So let's go ahead and check out the energies for July. The extended version of this reading will be up on my Patreon. So if you are interested in seeing what happens next, outside of what we find during our reading, you can check out the extended there. So as I shuffle, feel free to take a deep breath, thinking of just hearing whatever you need to hear at this moment in time. No specific questions. Maybe you do have one, but I kind of like to just kind of go with the flow, see what they need to tell me, and go from there. So we've got Strength card. Sometimes I do reversals, sometimes I don't. We've got the Five of Potions. We have the Fool. And the Wheel of Fortune. So let's see. The way that I am feeling in this situation is, I don't know, usually the Strength card is a very positive card, but in this case I feel like you might be carrying a lot of burdens, carrying a lot of issues, maybe kind of carrying a whole team in some sense. Maybe you are kind of the people, oh my gosh, maybe you are the person that people kind of look up to when it comes to figuring out a solution. Maybe you're kind of putting out a lot of fires that kind of get started in the organization that you work within or the business that you work for, whatever the case might be. But I feel like it's causing a lot of stress, a lot of kind of inner anguish, maybe even kind of a loss of identity in some sense. I think of loss of identity in this case specifically where Jack is kind of in the Santa Claus suit. Obviously he's the Halloween king, but he kind of got tired of Halloween and he's trying to do all these other things and manage all these other things that he's not really completely aware of or very privy to, and it's kind of causing a lot of mental anguish and a lot of issues. And I would even say, like with the Wheel of Fortune here, kind of being tied to the whims of things that are just kind of happening and having to be along for the ride in some sense, feeling like you don't really have control over your own schedule, your own sense of identity, feeling like you have to be super careful about who you are because of where you work, who you're associated with, and all those different things, and wanting to kind of be on the Fool's journey instead, which I would almost put this here even. Let's see what else the cards have to say. But I feel like there's this energy of feeling like there's no other way forward. There's no other step forward. It's just kind of having to accept that this is what it is right now, and what else can you do? But I think there are answers, there are solutions, there are ways to move forward. But I think the way of being able to see those things is by allowing yourself to kind of step away from the frustration of what's happening in these moments of what you're doing currently, and allowing yourself to adopt the mentality of the Fool on the Fool's journey, and knowing that there are other possibilities. You don't have to be in the same spot forever. You don't have to do the same thing. You're not limited to doing the same thing or being in the same career path. You're not limited to being in the same relationship forever and trying to make it work, even though you have for the past however many years or months, and you're recognizing the same things and seeing the same red flags and going through the same cycles, there's this realization of not allowing yourself to be stuck and recognizing that you can kind of choose differently, but it might be hard to do so because you're comfortable in what you've done, what you know, what you're doing, all those different sorts of things. We've got the Three of Presents or Three of Pentacles. And I think this is kind of encouraging us or encouraging you to be creative. Use your creative energy. Figure out a new solution to a problem that you've been having. Figuring out a new kind of schedule. How can you reformulate things? Maybe you're so stuck in the same thing that you've done for who knows how long and just kind of stuck in the cycle that you're afraid to think of doing anything different. And I think, think of this as maybe you always take the same way to work. Maybe thinking of how you can re-navigate. Maybe take the scenic route. Maybe if you have to drive 2 hours away or whatever for something pretty often, how can you change things up, switch things up, be creative, bring more excitement into something that you kind of do all the time? How can you spice things up, make them more enjoyable for you? That doesn't mean staying in spaces that really don't align with you, your values, and what you're working on. But if it is something that you're comfortable staying within, whether that's a relationship, a job, a routine, maybe it is, again, inviting more creativity into that routine, into that job, into that space, reorganizing, restructuring, feng shui. Maybe if it's like a job space, redecorating your office, your little cubicle, your at-home desk, maybe making things lively and inspiring and exciting rather than just, again, getting stuck in the mundane, same old cycle of things that you have always done. I'm going to pull one card from the Prism Oracle, which is isolation. So I feel like if we're thinking of chakras, I would think of the crown chakra, allowing yourself to kind of be in the space where you can isolate, where you can meditate and really think on what you want, what you need, where you want to go moving forward, what weight are you willing to carry, what is bringing you mental anguish, what makes you feel tied down. And maybe even allowing yourself to, if you're looking for answers right now and just feel really confused, isolation will help you figure out those answers. Maybe that's as simple as not isolating for a few days, but just kind of taking a bath and chilling out by yourself, doing something that feels good to you by yourself, going to the park by yourself, going on a hike, doing it safely, obviously, letting people know where you're at maybe. But still allow yourself to kind of get to this point where it's just like you zeroing in on yourself, your life, your energy, and figuring out where you want to go next, what that looks like for you, and how you want to move forward. And a card from the Galactic Oracle deck. What reality are you creating today? So I feel like that goes very well with everything that has been said here. Are you creating a reality that looks more like this here, where you're stuck, you don't know what to do, you're pulling all this weight? Or are you creating a reality that looks like this? You're moving on to the next thing. You feel vibrant and creative, you feel inspired, you're excited, you're searching for something new, you're exploring a different place, you're changing things up, you're changing up your schedule, your interests, you're inviting some more creativity, you're revisiting your hobbies, you're spicing things up within a relationship rather than just kind of getting annoyed and frustrated with all these other things that seem to bother you. How can you change your perspective? Instead of asking or saying, nothing goes right, why can't anything happen the way I want it to, thinking of how can things go right? What kind of energy can I invite into my life to switch things up and make it more palatable for me as I move forward in life? So that is all I've got for you, my friends, on YouTube. If you'd like to hear more, you can visit me over on Patreon. The link is in the description box below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.